the band play.
100K on the protect, living life with no regrets. These out when I get dressed. Summertime, I'm with a fresh. Put a leg behind her head. Night, she gonna bed. Every day it's a new test. I just keep chasing these chicks. Living life with no regrets. Living life with no regrets.
All right, welcome back to the next episode of SledTalk. This is episode 10. Returning viewers, SledTalk listeners, appreciate you guys tuning in. Anybody that's new, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and download podcasts and, follow along. So without further ado, today's episode is introducing good friend and also my Polaris sales guy is Justin Bailey. Justin, thank you for jumping on to the podcast today. I appreciate you coming in here.
Anytime.
So Justin, let's get right into it with a little bit of a introduction to, who you are, where you're from, what you do. We'll start off with that and then continue on from there.
Okay, sounds good. Name's Justin Bailey. I am the current Polaris salesman down at Morrow County Grain Growers. As of January 1, been in the role for 3 years. Spent a total of 8 years in that outfit. Spend plenty of time at work, as you were fully aware. Yeah. I'm always answering your calls and that kind of stuff, helping you out. But grew up in Eastern Oregon, even stayed in Eastern Oregon for college, and still haven't left.
Yeah, hey, that's all right. It's good. So for those of you that are tuning in, listening, and watching this right now that don't know, Justin is my go-to sales guy. So I've purchased all 3 of my Polaris sleds from you, and will continue that relationship all the way into the future, 100%. And as a side note, kind of funny. So I've, over the course of, this will be the 3rd year, I guess, 3 years of our relationship, I bought 3 sleds from you, and finally, today, after all of those years and buying 3 sleds, I finally get my beer that I've been asking for.
You do. I had to make you work for
it. So Justin, you finally bought me a beer after all this time, and thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Anytime.
Anyways, so you work at Morrow County Grain Growers. You are the head sales guy for Polaris out there. You just hit 3 years.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Nice. So let's get into snowmobiling specifically. Like, when was the first time that you ever rode a snowmobile?
Funny story. I actually never rode a snowmobile before I got in the Polaris sales role. A little bit backwards there.
Okay, that's all right.
Got hooked really fast. I mean, I went
naturally
ride one. Most people grew up riding parents' Indies, stuff like that. No, I learned on an 850.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. 850, 2019 850 Pro RMK 155.
Okay.
And it was a blast.
Oh yeah.
Feels kind of like learning to drive in a Lamborghini, but
but way cooler.
way cooler. Most of the riding I do is Wednesday night rides. Love riding in the dark.
Do you? Okay.
We got a pretty good group that goes up.
Yeah.
That and local play days. As you're fully aware with my job, I don't get to go more than about 3 to 5 times a year.
I know.
Which is sad.
Which is
terribly sad.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we were just talking about that a little bit ago. Cause you work weekends and stuff, as duty calls. And, that is what it is. I mean, that's sad that, you only get to ride 3 or 4 or 5 times a year. But on the flip side of that, you play a major role in providing the sleds and the opportunity for others to go out and play, which is cool in its own self. Like, obviously you want your time too. Yeah. But still, we take what we can get, I guess. So speaking of that, let's, and we were talking about this earlier, let's talk a little bit about, the current state of the world, and kind of give our viewers and our listeners, the dealer's perspective of issues with, Polaris Boost and all the Polaris sleds being on back order and people not, getting their sleds until March and all that kind of stuff. So like, give everybody, kind of your insight or some of the things that you're dealing with, kind of essentially like being on the other side of the line, right? Like versus a lot of people that are listening right now are probably customers, right? So they only see it from this side. So, kind of go in depth with the struggles that you've been having and things that you've, kind of been faced with as far as like having to deal with the customers, like, hey, your sled's not coming in until now. And, the current state of Polaris and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, definitely. There's definitely been quite a few of awkward conversations, as you can imagine.
Sure.
It's never fun calling somebody in beginning of December saying, hey, your snow check's going to be here maybe into February. I can't guarantee it.
Especially when everybody's getting the kind of snow that we've been getting.
Exactly. And I don't know about you, but I don't remember last time we had this much early snow in Oregon.
Dude, where I've ridden, I haven't ridden snow like that this early in like 10 years.
No. It's
at least.
It's nuts, but it's awesome.
Yes.
Very awesome.
Unless you don't have a sled.
Correct. I haven't had that problem yet, personally. But
yeah.
So, as everybody's fully aware, unless you're living under a rock, supply chain has gotten terrible.
Yep.
We went from being guaranteed that all the sleds are going to be on time to, hey, yeah, you're going to have them by the end of December, to some people even being into early March now.
Yeah.
Luckily, at Morrow County Grain Growers, we got all of our new Patriot Boost models by the end of December. It was really close on a couple of them, but got everybody out and had them for the new year. This year, we snow checked a total of 23 sleds, where we usually only do maybe 6 to 10. So,
oh, wow, that's a big difference.
It was nuts.
Sure.
Of those 23, I have 12 of them that are still hanging out there that are going to be February. So it's a little intense at times. But it's gone better actually than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Truly and honestly.
Dude, that's, I don't know. That's pretty difficult to like pay all that money and have that excitement. And then, and totally, obviously it's completely out of your hands, right? Like it's not like you have anything to do with that, but still like nevertheless as a customer to order something like that. And, and it's not even Polaris specifically either. Like it's just the current state of the entire world, right? Like how many other people are being faced with that same exact issue?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on our stocking side for our stock inventory,
sure,
I have got another 15 sleds that I'm not going to get till mid-March.
Right. And so what do you like, kind of putting you on the spot, but kind of not, like, what's your opinion of like, how do you think those are going to sell? Because how many people, I guess this is the thing, right? Like how many people do you think are going to buy the stock sleds that are coming in versus like, well, March, Polaris typically releases their 2023 or the next year's model, right? So what do you think the numbers are going to add up to the people that are just like, screwed, I'm not even going to buy that stock sled that's in. I might as well Polaris just released the 2023. I'm just going to go ahead and snow check that and wait till next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Are you anticipating that to happen, or what do you think?
With a certain percentage, yeah. We're completely expecting not to go anywhere. We're going to probably end up sitting on them until the next snow year.
Mm-hmm. And by then, the prices of them are going to drop quite a bit because then they're a year late, or
the 23s are going to take a pretty good increase. Who knows?
Well,
it could go either way.
Sure. Okay.
But part of what I have to do is forecasting for that. So
fun job.
The best part, yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
I don't foresee any big changes coming in 23, just because how pressed we've been to get these machines, or how pressed corporate's been to get them produced.
Right.
How you can have a lot of time for a big change after, especially last year when they came out with the Patriot Boost. Yeah. I don't foresee any big changes this year, but I could be totally wrong.
As far as the sled itself?
Yes.
For the new model? Yeah.
Or if they make changes, it could be for the trail models.
Sure. Yeah.
Which isn't really much for us guys out here.
No, we don't really.
No.
Do you even offer those at the dealership?
No. I haven't ordered a single one in 3 years.
Okay. Yeah. So
if they do, it's a snow check special. Something they want.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's just not really relevant out here.
Yeah.
By any means.
Yeah, we're a little bit more deep snow guys out here.
Yeah. Steep and deep, baby.
You know it.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that, I know everybody's kind of feeling the impact of that, and it just is what it is. I mean, it's out of everybody's control. But, I guess it really sucks for the people that are listening if you sold your last year's sled and snow checked this one, and now you don't have anything to ride at all. Yeah. Like, I feel really bad for you guys. That sucks.
I've had a couple of those that's happened too.
Yeah.
And imagine, imagine. Take into account the current used market as well. I mean, it's astronomical. It's
crazy.
People trying to sell 2012 sleds for $6,500. That's maybe worth $35,000 to $4,000.
Yeah. I saw a post in some Facebook group that I'm in. I think I was telling you this when I was at the dealership 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. There was like I think it was a 2020 Skidoo 850 with like over 1,600 miles on it for $14,000. That's what I bought my Snow Check 2021 from you. It was 14,000, brand new. I know. It's crazy, the state. Like, I see those posts in those groups all the time, like people selling just the craziest numbers for sleds. It's insane.
Yes, and when you sent me a picture, actually, your sled after you finished with it, it looked nothing like what left my dealership.
Well, that's facts.
That's good. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I picked that sled up from you, and I did the break-in ride, and I think I put 35 miles on it. And on that first ride, it was low snow, and I hit my left A-arm, the lower part, which made me mad, but at the same time, like, it was fine because after that first break-in ride, I pulled everything off of it, right? So I did a Skins front end, Skins helium hood, Fox IQS, whole new skid, new lightweight tank, and a bunch of other stuff. And yeah, it's and a wrap, and cut the tunnel, and it looks a little bit different than since the day you ran the forklift and threw it on the snow, sled deck. I couldn't think of the word there. We're gonna have to bleep out that word that I just threw in there. I could not think. I totally blacked out there for a second.
It happens.
But anyways, so yes. So speaking of breaking A-arms and just destruction to the sled. So a little bit of backstory. Was it last week? No. Was it last week? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so I had ordered a custom clutch kit from Brant's, and so I put a new clutch primary spring, new clutch weights, and then a new helix and rollers in the secondary. And on the primary, when I was putting the front cover back on, I, just like Brant says not to in that video, I screwed up that bushing on the inside of there. And so I had to come out to the dealership, and your boys in the shop threw a new bushing in for me, which was super dope. But I hung out there at the dealership for a minute, brought you a sweatshirt and a beanie, and we were chatting for a little bit, and you had said that you recently got into a little bit of carnage on a previous ride.
I did.
Let's talk about that.
Alrighty. Good old little bit of low snow.
Yeah.
Got a little cocky, which happens. And
I mean,
to the best of us, just does. Ended up finding a nice rock. I'm going to go back up when the snow melts and look at that rock.
It's probably got your signature on it.
Probably. A little bit of paint, too. Busted the lower A-arm pretty much in half.
Oh, my God.
Bent the upper down, and somehow I managed to tear the bolt out of the ski.
Nice.
Tell me how many times you've heard that happen.
Not very many. Yeah,
no. But luckily we had a majority of the parts in stock. Had it fixed next day.
Which is good because most people don't have
That's really
parts in stock.
Really hard to do
right
these
now.
days.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, I hit that rock. I was probably going about 35, 40, somewhere in there. Dead stop. Flew over the hood. About 10 feet of clearance, I think. I don't know. One thing I noticed, I was hitting a rock, and next thing I had a face full of snow. So,
in the blink of an eye, happens that fast.
Blink of an eye.
Yeah, huh?
Full on scorpion. Felt my boots at the back of my helmet. It was one to remember. It was good.
Yeah.
Hey, and it took me 3 years to have one of those, though, so I'm doing pretty good.
Hey, that's not bad. And you're currently wearing an ankle brace?
A little bit.
Because of that?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Probably more than you care to admit.
Yeah, that's all right. It helps me walk a little better.
Oh, boy. But had the parts, got it all fixed, right?
Yeah.
And
makes a good story.
Yeah, 100%. Do you want to talk about whose sled that is?
Morrow County Grain Growers.
This is a demo sled.
That I fixed myself, yes.
There you go. Oh man, that's good. Yeah, that was a good story. Appreciate you sharing that. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on or share? Any other stories or
Just elaborate on that story a little more.
okay?
And of course, that did not happen during the daylight.
Yeah,
It was
because you
just
love nighttime
right about
rides.
4:15.
Oh,
so it was our
perfect.
play day weekend.
That's when
up
everything
there at
goes to
Kelly
shit.
Prairie. Oh yeah. Yep. Luckily, I had somebody behind me saw me do that, or else I was almost the back of the pack. So that'd have been fun.
Yeah.
But had a ranger with tracks tow me down the hill
Oh, nice.
because I couldn't even get. You couldn't even balance one ski on it because the other ski kept wrapping up in the track.
Right.
Pitch it forward again. Blast. Oh my gosh. It's a good one.
Oh,
I told you it's a good one.
did you get any pictures of it at least?
Yeah.
You showed me the one.
That's just the only one I got.
Oh, okay. My gosh.
I had other things on my mind at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Trying to get off the hill.
Yeah. Content comes last on that
Yeah.
situation, I guess.
No, we had a local farmer help me out and get me down there. So
Nice. Thank goodness for that.
thanks, Eric Orm.
So do you have, we've kind of touched on your work schedule a little bit and, how many hours you put in and stuff. Do you have any, rides planned in the future that are coming up for you or?
Mostly just during the week.
Yeah.
Cut off work an hour early, go up in the hills up behind Hepner.
Yeah.
Mountains up there. It's a lot of trail riding, but we got a pretty good group.
Sure.
So
in the last few years, have you, where outside of Hepner have you been able to
up in
ride?
Ukiah a little bit. I haven't made it to McCall or halfway yet. I'd like to.
Sure.
It's just a matter of trying to find the time.
Yeah.
Whenever I try to break away, it never fails. Something happens on a Saturday, and I have to go in. So
Dude, it's brutal. That's unfortunate, but
I like it.
yeah.
I really do.
Calls and needs a part.
Yeah, I break something and Justin, why aren't you at work? I need shit.
Yeah, somebody's got to keep you guys happy.
Yeah, I guess.
attempt
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I couldn't appreciate it more. I'll tell you that much. That's for darn sure. But, well, good. So talk about, rewind a little bit to, I guess, March of last year, when you became aware that Polaris was going to do the factory turbo, that Matrix boost. Like when you kind of, found out about that, what was your you probably found out. Well, did you find out, do you get notified of that kind of stuff before the general public knows, or does everybody know?
Yeah, but
at the
it's
same
only,
time?
we only get notified maybe like an hour. It's not anything
okay.
really significant, just enough to kind of brace yourself for the incoming phone calls.
Oh,
If I'm being
yeah,
honest.
I guess so. That makes sense.
But no, so it's pretty cool. So usually in March, Polaris has what they put on a spring dealer show where you go down, you fly down. I've been to Orlando. I've been down to Dallas. We get to go actually lay our hands on these new models and take a look at them and see them for ourselves.
Okay.
Due to COVID-19 restrictions that with last year, they decided to have a virtual show. So
Right.
it's not too bad selling these sleds when you've actually got to touch them and say, hey, yeah, this is different, this is different, this is different.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother thing entirely when you're looking at the same information that the customer is and you're supposed to have more information.
Gotcha. I mean, you're essentially probably just reading the brochure that
Yeah,
the customer
that's it,
gets.
pretty much.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That said, so down at Morrow County Grain Growers, we've got a decent sized conference room. I opened it up to our local farmers and I played the release footage and everything, the virtual show we got to see for them. We probably had
that's
about
cool.
35, 40 people crammed into a conference room.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I went and brought in some pizza and stuff like that. And
Sure.
It was pretty cool. But the best part of that was when they started showing footage of the boost, the turbo, the energy in that room erupted.
Oh,
It was
really?
incredible.
Dude, I bet that was a
It was cool.
moment to live for.
Yeah, especially when they came out with the information that, okay, Skidoo's had their boost for a little bit, but or their turbo, and it's 3 pounds of boost.
Yeah.
Well, Polaris came out with theirs, and it's 9.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not always be the first ones come out with something, but they sure don't like to stay behind.
Yeah, no.
They're always pretty good at coming out on top.
Yeah.
And there is no altitude fall off either from 0 to 10,000 feet, which is huge too.
Yep. 100%.
But as you're fully aware.
Yeah.
So that was very cool seeing that. with the change to Matrix style from the Axis chassis, first appearance of that stuff, I mean, it looked like everything was just more streamed down, kind of. Your front end's a lot more aerodynamic. You now get a magnetic tether, for sure, that comes on all of them.
Which people have been screaming for that for a while.
Yes, they have. And you get the Matrix Slash, so you get the cut tunnel. Everybody's been cutting their tunnel the last few years. Don't have to even mess with it now. It's already comes cut.
Yeah.
I have seen a few of those bent already. I think you have too.
I haven't seen it, but I sure heard about it.
Yep,
I don't know if you want to shout him out. Who's the previous guest on here?
Kobe.
Kobe Doherty.
But we got the parts for it and fixed it, and we're good to go there.
Okay.
Got him back going, I think, the next day. I think he called me that night, and actually we priority ordered some stuff for him.
Oh, yeah. Got it done.
Yep.
Nice. So, yeah, I guess we kind of touched on it a little bit, as far as like what's to change for the 2023 model. Like everything that you're seeing, like, and have you ridden the Boost yet yourself? You've been able to for like a second?
I just got to really take it across the prairie. That's about it. I didn't get to really go test it myself. Gotcha. I haven't even got to really be on a Matrix much.
Okay.
Us dealers got all our demos taken away due to, I guess not taken away, it's a poor choice of words, but we didn't get one this year due to the snow check demand.
Sure. Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, any day of the week, I'd rather a customer get theirs than dealership get their machine. So.
Gotcha. So, taking into account like your experience over the last few years and, kind of everything that you've seen, do you have an opinion or an idea as far as like, all right, you see what they have for 2022, like based off of that, do you have any kind of anticipation or idea of like what could be next that they would change? I mean, they've changed so many things drastically, like how, because that's something that's like a common thing is like each year it's like the top best thing. And then everybody like pushes and does something a little bit more, which is super dope. But is there anything that from what you've seen that you think that they could improve on with that sled, or any feedback from customers that you've had so far that have complained? Maybe they've gotten their boost in and they've complained about X or, something happening or whatever that you think that, are you seeing like a common thread there? Or?
I've had a couple people complain about certain things. One of them was the seat on just the Matrix model, not just specifically the Boost, but the Matrix model. If you're comparing the Axis seat to the Matrix seat,
big difference.
Oh, huge difference.
Yeah.
Not only is it narrower, but it's about 3-4 inches shorter.
I
mean, a lot of these bigger guys, taller guys, 6'3", 6'4", they're having a hard time with the shorter seat.
Okay.
And some little older guys, older customers of mine too, saying it's harder to get their leg over, and everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own little
yeah.
The other one is just, I mean, the end of the tunnel on these slashes. It's just not very sturdy for some people.
Well, I think that's really common, like with the Articats too.
Yes.
Like the hardcores and stuff. Like I know Cody and Tom, he chopped his tunnel off, but I've seen a lot of stuff on social of their tunnels, getting bent up and stuff from doing wheelies and whatnot. Just, big difference.
Oh, huge.
For Matrix to transition to what they have now, but
yes.
and the coolant and everything is moved up farther and whatnot. So there's like hardly any strength left in that tunnel. The heat exchanger
is now just ends right under the seat. It doesn't run all the way around the back of the tunnel like it used to.
Which is cool because then snow's not building up and stuff on the tunnel too. But but still.
Yep. I have heard that some people, when they're trying to get over packed snow trails and a little bit of ice, that they're overheating pretty good trying to get to where they're going.
Gotcha.
That's what the scratchers are for.
Yeah.
But they do break pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any other complaints or things that you think that need to be upgraded or changed, or?
Well, keep in mind, half these guys haven't got their Matrix sled
right. So you probably haven't gotten too much feedback.
I'm sure I'm going to get a lot more
over the rest of the season, probably. Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially if I can get you in on a 23.
Well, hey, see what I mean, sales guy. I mean, yeah, we talked about that previously a little bit ago when you were buying me that beer. I mean, I've laid out my entire vision to you with all the retreats and what we're going to do with acquiring rental properties and, hosting the SledSend retreats and then, just renting out sleds in general. And I fully intend on ordering, 4 or 5 of a rental fleet through you. And then, ideally, if I can get a couple more things in my life and in other businesses lined out between now and March, I would like to get, so this is probably what I would go with, which is going to be a big change for me. So for those of you that don't know, I have a 2021 850 Pro RMK 165 with a bunch of lightweight and stuff on it. But I think that I would switch up and go to a Matrix Boost 155 Chaos.
Perfect. Let me get on that Chaos.
I think that I don't know. I just want.
Well, you've rode the Chaos, right?
I've rode Kobe's.
Okay.
Chaos 163 with the turbo in it.
Yeah.
At halfway for a little bit. Not, it's hard for me because my sled is so different than a lot of other people's. Yes. So I step onto anything else and it's extremely foreign for me. But everything on social and watching people and just so much more playful and everything that you're able to do, like they say, you're able to do chaos things. Mm-hmm. I think that that's definitely the route that I would go is a 155 Boost Chaos, just total craziness. I think. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, there's definitely a difference between the Pro and the Chaos.
For sure.
I mean, it's a night and day to me. I've been on them both over the last couple of years. You're definitely more agile on the Chaos. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not only in deep snow, but I mean, if you're taking a trail to get somewhere too, I mean, you put your weight to one side. I mean, the first time I did it, I put enough weight like I'm used to doing on the Pro. Yeah. Almost put it on its side.
Do you sell more Chaoses than Pros? Or?
Now I do, yes.
Okay.
Yep. It took a couple years to get there, but we're there.
Sure.
Since they released that in 20.
Yeah.
The 20 model year, but.
Yeah. Okay. So, I guess if there wasn't anything else that you wanted to touch on, we can go into the sled talk question if you want.
We can do that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap this episode up in true fashion with all the other episodes. We're going to do the final sled talk question of the day. So, Justin, with that being said, what is the question that you would like to ask the listeners and the viewers to get their opinion on?
Alrighty. My big question is, if you were not on a Polaris sled, why not? I want to know why. What's your reason?
No, I think that's.
Is it because you grew up on an Arctic Cat, Skidoo? I mean, why?
I think it's a great question.
Yeah.
I would love to know the answer. So, yeah, definitely comment below whether you're watching this on TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube. Obviously, if you're listening to this on a podcast, you can't leave us a comment, but you can find the link in the description to go over to one of those other platforms and leave your feedback. I would love to know. This is going to get good. I'm curious,
I think so.
A lot of crap talk, I'm sure, on Polaris or whatever, but it'll be interesting to see what you guys come up with. So yeah, definitely leave your feedback, your comments below, answering Justin's question. And yeah, we will appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscription button, smash that like button, and follow along on all the other platforms, and appreciate you guys tuning in. Justin, thank you for popping on here.
Thank you.
Glad you came through.
Thanks for the invite.
100%. All right, guys. We'll talk to you guys on the next episode.
100K on the Protect, living life with no regrets. I can't designer when I get dressed. Summertime on winter fresh. I put her legs behind her head. Night, she gone to bed. Bye-bye. Every day it's a new test. I just keep chasing these chicks. Living life with no